for marking some important areas of Western Ghats as eco-sensitive areas, right? So why this kind of tag of eco-sensitive areas is important for Western Ghats? That is what we are going to discuss in this particular session. So before we start the discussion of this particular notification, it is important to understand why Western Ghats are significant. We know that Western Ghats are one of the hotspots of biodiversity in India. In fact, they are one of the 8 hottest hotspots of the world. Along with that, they have also been recognized as World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2012. Right, so this kind of international recognition is there to the Western Ghats. Similarly, Western Ghats are important for the endemic species that we have in this area. 30% of mammals, birds, insects, plants that we have in India are found in this particular area of Western Ghats itself. Similarly, apart from this habitat, they are also important for the source of water for the mighty rivers of the peninsular India. Be it river Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, these rivers source their water from the Western Ghats itself. That means it is also important for the water security. Similarly, it also has a, let's say, repository of different minerals that have its economic value. It also acts a habitat for the let's say tribal species that we have in India. So considering all this importance of Western Ghats, it is important to conserve Western Ghats. Why? Because it has already started seeing degradation. When we give a tag of hotspot of biodiversity to any site, it has already lost its 70% of the original habitat. And in the recent times, given the developmental activities, given the construction activities, and let's say commercial plantation and agricultural activities, there is further degradation of the Western Ghats, and that can be seen in the events. For example, in 2024, we have seen one of the deadliest landslides in Wayanad district of Kerala. So it cannot be an isolated event. It can be traced down to the degradation of Western Ghats that we have seen all through the history of Western Ghats. But in the recent past, that degradation, especially because of the pressure that Western Ghats are feeling because of rising human population, that's why there is a need to conserve Western Ghats, right? So degradation is there, that is resulting into let's say disasters, that is resulting into habitat fragmentation, that is resulting into pollution in this particular area, and hence there is a need to conserve Western Ghats. Now, in order to conserve Western Ghats, if we talk about, let's say, last 15 years, some important developments have happened. The most important development was in 2010 when Western Ghats Expert Ecology Panel under Madhav Gadgil was constituted, which gave its report in 2011. As per that report, almost 64% of the area of Western Ghats should be declared as eco-sensitive areas, right? 64% of area. Now, if we declare almost 2/3 of the Western Ghats area as eco-sensitive area, obviously it will put a question mark on the developmental activities. It will put a question mark on the livelihood activities of the farmers in that area. And obviously, as a result of this committee's report in 2011, states were opposing this report. Right? States were not in favor of declaring 2/3 of Western Ghats as eco-sensitive areas. And hence, in 2013, another committee was established, and that committee was Kasturi Rangan Committee. That committee gave its report in 2013, and as per that committee, not 64%, but 37% of the area of Western Ghats should be declared as eco-sensitive areas. Right? So that was also, let's say, opposed by the states. States have their own concerns, right? Especially the states like Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, and Goa. These states are not in favor of these reports, be it Kasturi Rangan report or Madhav Gadgil report. And hence, after that also, since 2013, government has kept on, let's say, publishing or let's say notifying the draft notifications, but unfortunately, none of them has materialized. So this is the 7th time that government has notified this particular notification, wherein they want to declare Western Ghats as the Western Ghats area as eco-sensitive area. In this particular draft notification, close to 56,825 square kilometers of area will be declared as eco-sensitive area, right? Now, why we want to declare different areas under Western Ghats as ESA, eco-sensitive areas? Now, for that, we need to understand what exactly are ESA. Eco-sensitive areas are a kind of, not exactly, a kind of protected areas, right? They are not exactly protected areas, because generally protected areas are declared under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. ESA, eco-sensitive area, is declared under Environment Protection Act 1986, right? So once, let's say, once a particular area is declared as ESA, in that area, there will be certain activities that will be allowed, right? For example, the existing agriculture, horticulture activities will be allowed. There will be certain other activities which will be prohibited. For example, new mining, quarrying, let's say red line or red categories of industries which are polluting industries, new thermal power plants will not be allowed. And then there is another category of industries or activities which will be regulated, right? For example, fetching of water, felling of trees, these kind of activities will be regulated under ESA, right? So once a particular area is declared as eco-sensitive area, there may be question mark on the developmental activities in that area, right? For example, let's say a major part of Western Ghats, almost 825 square kilometer of area is declared as ESA. So if that is the case, then there will be a question mark on the development in that area. In that area, we won't be able to carry out construction activity. It would be very difficult to carry out construction, introduction of industries, mining. We will have to forget mining in that area. And that is one of the concerns of states. States say that if we declare ESA in Western Ghats, then it will put a question mark on developmental activities. Apart from the concerns by state, there are concerns by the farmers as well, right? If, let's say, a particular area is declared as ESA, then the existing agriculture can continue. But if we want to, let's say, transform the agriculture, if we want to carry out some different types of, let's say, activities in that agricultural land, then there would be difficulties for the farmers to shift from agriculture to those other activities. So there is a livelihood concern amongst the farmers as well. And that's why they are opposing declaration of Western Ghats as eco-sensitive areas. But despite this opposition, it is very important to conserve Western Ghats. And one of the most important ways that these, let's say, ecologists are saying is to declare a major part of Western Ghats as ESA. Because if we declare a major part of Western Ghats as eco-sensitive area, then we will be able to ensure that there is conservation of the endemic species that we have in Western Ghats, right? That will happen, conservation of endemic species. Similarly, we will be able to protect habitat of those species. There will be no habitat fragmentation in that area. Similarly, pollution we will be able to control. Why? Because mining will not be allowed in these areas. So we will be able to control pollution in this particular area, right? So because of these kind of conservation efforts through declaration of ESA, it is possible for us to halt the damage or degradation that Western Ghats are seeing right now. And hence, the central government has given this draft notification. On this draft, they have asked for suggestions. So based on the suggestions, final draft will be, let's say, put forward by the central government. So state governments, farmers have their own concerns. And what they are saying, state governments are not saying that we don't want to conserve Western Ghats. They are suggesting that when you declare eco-sensitive areas, you just take into account the areas where already, let's say, agricultural activities are being carried out. So those areas where already agricultural activities are being carried out, just exclude those areas from declaration of ESA, and this can be done based upon the satellite imagery, right? So that is what is the suggestion that the state governments have given, and this can be incorporated, because see, it cannot be like this. Now this is the seventh notification, so we have to take concrete measures to conserve Western Ghats, which is one of the highly important ecosystems in India, and at the same time degrading ecosystems in India. So for that, we will have to bring all the stakeholders, be it the central government, state governments, ecologists, farmers, will have to bring all these people on the same page, and then we'll have to put forward some kind of initiative for the conservation of Western Ghats, right? So we'll have to wait what exactly happens. This is just a draft notification, but it is important for let's say for the government to declare Western Ghats as a part of Western Ghats as eco-sensitive areas. So let's see what happens in this particular let's say development that is there for the conservation of Western Ghats. So that is about for our video. Thank you.